Okay, so the next on the list would be, well, Crom's little sister that I mentioned before, Lissa.
Yes, Lissa is definitely probably the most spunky of the characters.
Yeah,
That's true. I can totally see.
Yeah. Basically, even though she's, a princess, she's very much a tomboy.
Yeah, she's even though she doesn't dress like your typical tomboy, but then again, this is a medieval-based game. Who would? But
yeah, but she's definitely got like that kind of attitude.
Yeah, she's similar to her brother Crom. She's rather headstrong. She jokingly gets offended really easily, like whenever Crom calls her delicate. She's just like, I am not delicate.
Yeah. Yeah, and in fact, like, one of the big things with Lissa is when you start going, have her conversing with various people, one of the things that she actually is concerned with is, she wants to know, what does it mean to be a princess? Like, when, I'm going to be the princess, people have to look up to me, and, she says, well, people look up to Crom in this manner, so what do people expect out of me?
Yeah, that's one of Lissa's conflictions, because character development, what's that? Yeah, because the difference is, while Crom and Lissa are rather similar in many aspects, the big difference obviously is Crom as the older brother who can very much fight for himself. Lissa, while she claims to be stronger than she actually is, she gets herself into a lot of situations where not so much later in the game, but more so in the early parts of the game, where all she can do is heal.
Right. Yeah, she's your starting cleric.
And essentially, that's the biggest reason why. Well, here's the thing about that, though. That's actually you bring that up as what do people expect from me as a princess? But we find out that's really just more so in her head, because she thinks that people want her to be a certain way, when in reality people just like her the way she is. But she's definitely because she's a very young character, so she's like most young. I don't think a specific age is ever specified. I think it's safe to say she's like a teenager.
Yeah,
but either way, she succumbs to just mind over matter peer pressure, essentially. So.
And one of the things that especially bothers her, which, fortunately we get a conclusion again when the kids come in, is one of the defining traits within the royal family is that they have what is called the brand of the Exalt. It's pretty much like a special marking that will appear on their body.
A birthmark, yes.
Yeah, a birthmark, yes. Crom's is on his shoulder. Both Crom and Lissa do have an older sister, and hers is on her forehead. Lissa, though, her mark never appeared. So there was even the question of, am I really a part of this family? Was I adopted? So
yes.
It was something like she doesn't bring up often.
Well, but actually, I don't think
it is kind of apparent that it does bother her, and it does reach a conclusion when you eventually do meet her kid.
So yeah, it's like, but overall, Lissa, she's another. She has her own character development. She's definitely one who likes to help when she can. But she obviously she'll have her own issues that people have to help her with. But she's definitely like the highlight. That's even like there's a part where she asks Lucina like what she's like in the future. She's like you're like our rising spirit. Your smile always gives us hope. And that's essentially how she is. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably like the only thing I can say, and it's not necessarily so much as like her character, just so much as, the class and the role she's given it with. And, this almost applies to all the characters that are in the healing classes. Clerics are such a bitch to level up. And it's just because they can only level up with healing. They can't attack, and they can't really defend for shit. So,
but that's obviously not so much the fault of the character herself.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the fault of the character, but I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, if you want to level her up, you've got to pair her up with people. And even then, she is one of the slower characters to really class up. Just like I said, the only way clerics level up is when they use their skills. And, it does provide a good opportunity for her to get a lot of, I guess social linking. I'm just gonna call it that, just because that's what it reminds me of. It does, she does have that opportunity of getting a lot of social links because you can pair her up with just about anybody, and as long as she's not on the forefront, they will always protect her.
Yeah.
So, and you just bring her out whenever you need somebody to heal and stuff. You just got to make sure she doesn't die.
Yeah, but essentially, back to the character herself. Like they mentioned before, she's very much a tomboy. While she's a princess, I don't recall any real part where she actually does anything really ladylike or princess-like. She does a lot of things where she definitely shows a lot of compassion. There's a bunch of parts where she shows a lot of fear or concern for certain characters who have issues. But she's definitely also a character who, when she has a problem herself, she makes it known.
Yeah.
It also doesn't help that she likes to play pranks.
Yeah, in fact, that's actually the main support between her and Robin. Like, she plays a lot of pranks.
Pretty much. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she's a prankster. She's she can be a bit of a whiner, but not like an annoying whiner, just your typical teenage whiner. So because she's young, she'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that being said, anything else about Lissa? Ryan, you have any questions?
No, not really.
No? Okay. So I guess we'll go ahead and move on to possibly your save sake at the beginning of the game.
Save sake?
All right, then.
Oh my gosh, this ring is huge! Oh, we're gonna have such a great life together!
Pick a god and pray!
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. The greatest battle quote in the entire game, and that belongs to our good friend Frederic.
Yes, Frederic is essentially, I don't think he's the head knight, but he's definitely one of the strongest knights, as well as Crom and Lissa's bodyguard. And wow, does he deserve that position?
Oh, when you first said that line, I thought you were literally saying, "Oh, Frederic really is a god." But,
no,
okay.
The joke is, this comes from a timeline where they think there's multiple gods, so he's just going, pick one of the gods and pray to them because I'm about to stab you in the face. That's essentially what he's saying.
Oh, okay, all right, I get it now.
Yeah, essentially, Frederic probably is one of the funnier characters in the game.
He's unintentionally funny.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird because you do have characters where you can tell by their personality they're supposed to be the comedy relief characters, but Frederic, he's just so goddamn eccentric to the point where it's like he becomes like unintentionally funny. Yeah,
he is a very serious and he's a very serious, a very professional man, but he's just so friggin' loyal, so friggin' dedicated to his job as a knight and a bodyguard. It's just outright funny.
Yeah, like, I swear, the man's got fucking OCD.
Yes, like, to the point where it's like, he'll wake up, like, hours before, before the sun even comes up, hours before anyone else wakes up in the camp, just to walk down the entire path that the army's supposed to walk down the next day, and clear out all the pebbles and shit from the pathway to the side, making little pathways, just so no one will trip or get something stuck in their shoe. It's just so hardcore dedication, especially to Crom. To the point where Crom is just like, damn it, man, let me breathe.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's like
that little pebble could kill you.
Right. I mean, it's like, he's so protective and loyal. It's to a fault, and that is one of like the things like you actually do see like this a lot, especially like BJ said in his conversations with Crom, is that Frederic gets scolded a lot for this because he's like, you're treating me like a child, essentially.
Frederic, I think the funniest part where Frederic goes so far is when he wants to try to build up the army's morale with Crom's face. So what does he do? He posts like nude pictures of Crom all over the camp. Just to try to show how awesome Crom is. And Crom's just like, what the frick? Crom has to go vigorously tear them all down.
Yeah. It's funny, but But it's also funny just because, like, in one of the DLCs that you get, I think it's like the Summertime Festival or something, you basically go into this village, they're doing this, festival, but then all of a sudden monsters show up. So, okay, we gotta kill the monsters. The festival can continue. The conversations between Frederic and Crom, that's like, I swear to God, I think the game was trying to ship them together.
Yeah, there are these two characters that are essentially otherworldly. Like, I forget their names. I believe they're like Vincent and something else. But they're these two brothers who are just very. I think they're brothers, but they're very close in their relationship. And Frederick witnesses, but they're so close to the point where it's almost flamboyant. And Frederick notices this, and he's just like, Crom, I hope that our relationship extends to this someday. And Crom's just like, no, you don't.
Yeah. It's like I said, it really looked like the game was trying to ship the two of them together. I mean, that's like, if the game allowed, like, homosexual marriage and everything, you bet your ass Crom and Frederick would be one of the couples available.
Oh my God, I'm sorry, that was so ironic, because I was waiting for you to talk more into marriages, because that's another thing I'm familiar with Fire Emblem Awakening. I was thinking, wait, so was there, like, same gender marriage involved in this, or no?
No, there's
No.
There was one point where I almost thought there was, and we'll get into that character later.
Oh, okay.
In,
All right.
In any case, in
in
the case of Frederick, while he is comedic in his morale, he is another very human character. He's definitely he's the highest ranking guy. He shows the most dedication. He shows the most perfection, but he's definitely not without his personal faults. And I'm not talking about just his unintentional OCD faults. He does have faults which, as a character and a person, he does everything he can to try to overcome them too. Like the support he has with Robin, he shows disdain for different kinds of meat. Like he can't handle like eating bear meat, and he asks Robin to help him overcome that because he wants to be the perfect knight, and he feels that if there's ever a point where he's starving and that's all there is, he doesn't want to leave himself starving. He wants to be able to choke it down. So,
okay.
But yeah, Frederick really is just an awesome character. He's very strong, very. Yeah, I think I said what I could think of. Anything else? Like.
So I think you said earlier that he's like one of the more funnier characters in the story. Would you say
like we brought that up? He's just unintentionally funny.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, would you say that he would be like the biggest like comic relief of the game, or they're like even funnier characters?
He's not a comic relief. He's a very serious character.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yes, he never says anything that's intentionally funny.
Yeah, he's not meant to be comedy relief, but I think he's the funniest character in the game.
Okay, all right. I must be thinking of something else.
His actions are more funny than really what he does.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird like that. It's one of those characters where he was written to be like super serious, but they made it in a way that it's actually kind of funny. It's kind of hard to explain. You have to witness the character yourself to actually get into it.
Right.
I actually saw this DeviantArt comic where it shows like how dedicated Frederick is, and you know what? It even though it was just a fan made comic, it was just so believable to Frederick's character. Like it was a comic where Frederick is married to Robin, or not Frederick. Crom is married to Robin, and Frederick is escorting Crom to her tent. And he's like, I need to speak to Robin for a while. And Frederick's like, don't worry, my lord, I shall prepare her. And then we see her in like this skimpy little, sexy little attire that apparently he dressed her in. And then she just kicks them both out, just out of anger. And while they're falling, Frederick's like, I'll cushion your fall, my lord.
Oh God.
What?
Frederick.
That's funny. That's funny.
I'll have to link you to that comic afterwards, but it's pretty funny.
That's funny.
It's something I believe he would probably do.
Yeah. All right, so shall we move on to the next character?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, we shall.
How many more characters do we have so far?
Including Lissa and Fredrick, which we just got through. 43. Yeah, 43 left.
Yeah, we're gonna have to end up breaking this up into parts.
We will.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's what like I said, I'll end up breaking this up, like I said.
Okay. Anyway.
My heart is yours, milady. I vow to defend you as knight and husband until death should part us.
Yes, next up, the woman to end all men. We have Sully.
Oh God. Oh God.
Yes. Okay, like, I know we've mentioned before that Lissa was a tomboy and everything. Sully is a completely different breed.
Go get him, Mr. Solomon!
You wouldn't believe Sully is a woman. Like, she's clearly a woman. She clearly looks feminine. She doesn't act it at all.
No, she's a knight. And, it's funny just because, like, she's always believed that, women can do what men can do and everything. So she's one of the starting knights.
But she's also very hardcore. Like, she cusses every other word she says. She, like,
Yeah, she curses, she trains all the time. Her training regimen is fucking insane.
She can't cook.
No.
Is that she can't cook. So.
And believe it or not, that's one of the relationships that Crom can end up in.
Yeah, it's like, like one of the first girls that, besides Robin, female Robin. Yeah, he can also marry Sully because I believe Crom and Sully are like childhood friends or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, they are.
I believe so.
And then she was the one I was talking about earlier, the one who ends up proposing to Crom. So
yeah, she's the one that makes the move, not him.
Yeah.
But it's like, but yeah, Sully is a pretty interesting character. I mean, it's it's like I said, she's she's got like a very like I guess you can say like rough personality, I guess.
Yeah, she's one of those characters who doesn't want to take shit from anybody. But at the same time, she's also a very conflicted character in some senses, because there's an occasion where even though she says she doesn't want to be treated like a woman, sometimes she kind of has that confliction where it's like, well, even though I don't want to be treated like a woman, I want you to still acknowledge me as a woman.
Right.
Which I believe is one of the reasons that ends up with her proposing to Crom, and why Crom was a little hesitant. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's her that proposes to Crom?
Yes.
Oh. All right.
Okay, that's different.
But yeah, she's. In fact, she's a character that doesn't take anything from anybody. In fact, there's a scene later in the game where if Crom marries Sully and then Lucina ends up Sully's daughter. There's a scene later in the game where when Lucina reveals herself to be Crom's daughter, she has kind of a mental breakdown because this was the first time she's seen her father, because in the future Crom dies. So when she finally reveals this to him, Lucina kind of has a breakdown moment where she just has to hug Crom and start crying to let it all out. And Crom's hugging her, but whoever's married to Crom at that moment sees this, and it's just like, what are you doing with this harlot? Depending on who it is, the reaction's different, but Sully is just like swinging her sword in the air. It's just like, bitch! It's just...
Yeah.
Stay away from my man!
Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna kill you.
So, Crom, tell me, where do you want this woman's head over our fireplace? But yeah, Sully, I don't know. Is there like I don't use Sully that much in the game. She's one of the few characters that can be supported with most characters, like besides Robin, who could be supported with all. Sully can be supported with most of them. So.
Yeah, and I mean, I admit I don't use Sully in battle all that much either, just because you'll get some better knight characters, in the future.
Yeah. Oh, but that does remind me. I think one of her most likable aspects, actually, I can't believe I forgot this, because this is probably the biggest reason why I like her so much too. She's definitely a person who hates shortcuts. Like, the support she has with a later character who has some growth issues, who tries to make a potion for himself to grow taller, and it's always like, what are you doing, man? Just do some exercise. And while you're trying to take this cheap shortcut that's probably going to kill you, do what I do. Work out. Do it the way you're supposed to do it. You know, she's a character who believes in good health. She believes that you shouldn't try to cheat. You need to do things the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I like her a lot for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we got to one of the most hardcore characters. Let's say we move to the Edgeworth of the game.
Oh God, really?
That's what I see.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I love you, you bastard. There, I said it. Now don't ask me again.
Yes, the first archer we get in the game, Virion.
Yeah. Varian is one of the characters that I will say he was intended for comedy relief because his support can be really, really funny.
Yes,
Right.
Virion is a flirt. He's a noble who came from a different land who ended up getting conquered and ended up being put into the dumps. But he doesn't behave like it. He still behaves very much like a noble, very classy. He a silver tongue. Very, very smooth too, but he's not at all not likable. He's still very much a good guy. He just behaves very flirtatious. So
Yeah, pretty much every woman he hits on.
Well, not so much hits, more so like, oh, you are the love of my life.
Yeah, he starts
Essentially along those lines. So.
It's really, really funny.
Yes, he's that kind of guy who just wants to sit down for a nice cup of tea. You know, it's just your typical gentleman, really.
Right.
Yeah, except that he hits on everything with a pair of tits.
Yeah, but
It actually does get him in trouble in one of the supports.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's not like one of those guys who hits on everything, but all he cares about is just the usual. He's one of those guys where it's like, even though he's still flirting with them, he actually takes time to understand them too. He very much he absorbs what they're doing. Because he's one thing I'll say about Varian, he's very analytical. He typically knows what he's talking about.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, he takes the time to understand the people he's talking. Not just the woman. He takes the time to understand the people he talks with. He really gets to know them, though. Granted, not so much just through the talking. He likes to watch people from afar as well. So
yeah, like there's a support that he has with Frederic, where Frederic at first does not trust him whatsoever. He's like, "There's something about you I just can't put my finger on it. I'm gonna figure it out." But then, as the relationship grows and everything, pretty much like when you hit A rank, if you find out that Varian has pretty much been, donating, his own money to the cause, and, Frederic eventually, figures all of this out. So he's like, well, what's the deal? Why are you keeping this a secret? Why aren't you telling anybody? And he's like, why should I brag about this and everything? I'm giving you money because I truly believe in your cause. I'm not doing this to get attention.
Yeah, Like Frederick seems like one of those guys that'd be scandalous, but no, he really is a very noble guy. So
Okay.
And I will say this though, as far as relationships between the other characters, there is one relationship with Varian that I have to say is one of my favorites in the game.
What support was it? Don't say the character obviously, but what support was it about?
Basically it's this girl, and she's trying to learn. I guess I'm assuming it's more like traditional ballroom dancing.
Oh God, I think
and Varian offers to teach her. And basically,
oh yeah,
I think I have an idea of who you're talking about.
And it's actually very, very adorable. It's one of those things he starts off talking sweet and everything, but as the relationship grows on, fairly quickly, it just becomes so fucking adorable. Plus, it actually kind of makes a little bit more sense once you meet her kid.
Yeah.
Actually makes a lot more sense.
Varian definitely does have a lot of the more entertaining supports, because he is one of those characters that was made to be more comic relief. Because while he acts very smooth, the moment someone shoots him down, he'll tense up a bit and get nervous. But he does quickly regain his confidence. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I guess as far as battle goes, I mean, it doesn't matter. How many times I play this game, every single time I've played the game, Virion has always ended up in my army.
Yeah, because, I like Varian a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's you can get other archers and stuff in the game, but Varian, I mean, he is built to be an archer. He's got the best archer skills. He's got the best stats for it. So it's
a lot of accuracy.
You have no reason not to use him, and that's why I end up getting all these support conversations with Varian, because I abuse him all the time.
Yeah, one of my favorite supports for Varian is with Robin. Actually, he helps Robin with this game board with her strategies and being a tactician. He plays very much like an enemy, and there's a point where Robin doubts herself because Varian keeps beating her over and over, but Varian's no, there's no way I can be the tactician. Don't you notice? I keep sacrificing my guys. My people would sooner kill me than they would kill you guys because of this. But I'm also doing this just so you can be prepared for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I gotta say, I love when if you have female Robin marry Varian, I love what he says in the end. And actually, I have it right here. Give me a second.
Yeah, that's actually that is one of the relationships I actually haven't tried yet.
Yes, and actually, prepare to hear Varian's epic super voice.
What?
I've heard this.
I am enamored with you. No, we are soulmates. Oh, the sultry sonnets we shall spin.
Oh. Okay.
We shall spin.
We have become one, mon ami.
Mon ami.
Oh my god.
I'm enamored with you. Oh.
We are soulmates.
We are soulmates. These sultry sonnets we shall spin.
It's
Okay.
kudos to the voice actor.
That's the only voice clip I recognize, because I think I remember a while back you guys showed me a series of clips of a marriage or whatnot. But yeah, there's that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. In any case, I think Danny creaming to Virion's voice is our cue to move on to the next character.
That's what's creaming. What's cracking up.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah, okay, all right.
I love you. No, I am enamored with you. No, we are soulmates. Oh, the sultry sonnets we shall spin.